Hi guys, today I'm just going to run you through my workflow for a product that I shot. It's a box for premium number plates, and the company creates all sorts of packaging, and this was just one of the products that I did for them. So the first thing I do is basically have a look at the product and hold it up to the light, check it all out, see if there's any marks or scratches on it, and usually you've got a couple of them, so you want to work with the best one you've got. Um, I'm just working out now that this one that I'm looking at is better than the other one, so I've decided to pull out the plate and pop it into this box. And then I try and visualize the best way it's going to look. I'm giving it a clean up now, making sure there's no dust on it. It's actually a used number plate, so it's, I've got to try and make it look as new as I possibly can. And I'm going through trying to get any dust off it because it just saves you time in post-production later. So now I start sort of thinking, okay, what's the best way that I can make it look? And I try a few different things. I move it around and decide, okay, I'll usually go for a few different looks on each product so that they can complement each other. I like to have a complete shot of it. That's what I'm doing at the moment, which is you'll see it all in a bit of a top down, a little bit of an angle, and then I'll sort of go for a detailed shot and something else that complements it as well. So I'm just checking my settings. I usually start with one light, and that's what I'm just getting it sort of ready now, getting my everything set in there, and I'll take one shot and see how it looks. And there you go, it's sort of lit up from behind. It's got a nice reflection over the logo on the front, and I think no, not quite happy. I'll just make a few more adjustments and try that one again. And I like having a little bit more breathing room around it. That's what I went on there. So now I bring in the second light and see how that goes, make the adjustments on that, and as you can see, it's filling in nicely around the left hand side. So obviously I then need to bring in a third light for the right hand side, and that's what I'm bringing in now. And I set that light on, turn it all on, and there it goes. So that's straight out of camera. I'm getting this shot, and the next thing I'll need to do is just make a few little adjustments in Capture One. I'll check it all out, make sure the details are okay, make sure it's not blown out on the sides, and yeah, just sort of work a few things, and I'm pretty happy with that. So from there I'll take it, I'll just sort of adjust the shadows a bit, adjust the highlights, the whites and the blacks, a bit of contrast. What else am I adjusting? A little bit of clarity. I like a bit of clarity in my shots. Then I'll take it into Photoshop. So in Photoshop, the first thing I usually do is make a copy of the layer. Then I'll make a selection using select subject, and then I'll drop it on top of a white background. I'll go through with the healing brush and just heal up any marks that seem to be on the product, and try and make it look as good as possible. Play a little bit with the curves layer, and just, as you see, I'm just trying to darken up that face of it a little bit down the bottom there, and just make it all look a little bit even. From there, just make little tweaks. I use the gradient tool there on a mask just to bring it in on there and nowhere else, and that's coming along exactly how I want it. A few little tweaks, and yeah. Okay, so that, I save it, I take it back to Capture One, and I'll start working on my next shot. So I usually give it a star so it's easy for me to find, and that's how the shot comes out. So the next shot, I want to actually show the number plate, so I start to set that up and try and get the best frame I can. I want to really make a nice hero shot, really showing what the product does. I improvise with anything I can to sort of help, support the product, holding it up. I've got a glass, I've got some little rods behind there to get everything to stand upright, and I fiddle with that, try and get in a little bit tighter, and happy with that frame. So end up taking a shot and ending up with something that I'm pretty happy with. You'll see it now. There you go, that's worked out quite well. It shows the writing, it shows the product, a nice little sheen across it. And then I go for a third shot as well, which I sort of fiddle a couple of ideas. I realise that angle's looking good, but I don't really like the downward look on it, so I want to get quite low, straight in on it, and sort of go for a bit more of a hero look. It's a little bit distorted there, so I have to bring myself down lower and be more straight on at it. And that's when we get in there, and finally I'm sort of looking happy with that. And yeah, so I fiddle around, and I think I finally got it, and get myself ready. Adjust the lights. You've always got to remember that you don't want the lights to blow those reflections out on it, so you want to make sure your light bounces not straight back into your lens, and that's the shot that I end up with. It's actually got a little bit more frame around that, but to fit it in video, then it's, I've had to sort of crop in a little bit, but there is white all the way around this. Okay, hope you enjoyed that.